Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Tracy with Strength and Grace Training with Tracy, and this is my tips and tricks for your lower body workouts. And not nearly as long as my upper body tips and tricks, because I'm not going to run through a whole bunch of exercises with you like I did on that one. This is basically just to go over some important form aspects of squats, because squats do comprise a large part of initial training plans when it comes to lower body work. Squats are your friend. You will love squats, you will hate squats, and then you will love them again, because you will grow with squats. Yes, see the smile on my face? I love squats. Anyways, let me give you a couple of quick things that I want you to always remember and keep in mind while you are doing squats, so you can go about your day and enjoy day, evening, whatever may be on your plate for the rest of your adventure. Basics on squats, and I'm just going to show you this starting into a basic front squat, feet at hip distance or slightly more than hip distance apart, whichever is the most comfortable for you. If I've gone through and done a squat assessment with you already, then you know exactly where you're at. If you have done an online squat assessment, then you should know where you're at as well. And we're going to start at about here. You'll notice that I do my squats barefoot. If you are not in a gym that you are comfortable being barefoot in, then I do recommend a flat-soled shoe, not a running shoe with a heel to it or with a very thick sole. Flat sole is going to be better for lifting. It is going to be better for squatting. It is going to be better for any machine work. It's just going to be better for a gym environment, unless you're running on a treadmill and then you want a running shoe. Makes sense? Okay. So with the squat, you are engaging everything from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And that is incredibly important, because if you're not engaging everything, if you're not paying attention to your entire kinetic chain, then you're not really going to get very much out of it. It is that important. So it starts here with thinking about what you're doing. If you don't want to pay attention to what you're doing, you just want to do this, well, then just go walk. Because you're not going to get, really? Let's move on. Think about what you're doing. So, what am I going to tell you to do first? If you've watched my other video, shoulders back and down. Let's pay attention to our form. Okay, shoulders back and down, head up, nice and proud. We've got good posture. We're happy about who we are. We're moving into our day positively. Okay, now, we're proud, we're happy, we're moving up. We're thinking about our feet. So we're here, and now we're going here. What are we doing with our feet? Our feet are happy. We've got our little happy little toes right there, right? We're sinking into our heels. Our knees are a little bit soft. Now, we're gonna sit back. We're gonna sit back into our squat. As we're sitting back into our squat, we're gonna feel everything coming through here, but we're sitting back into those heels, right? We're going to feel a little bit in our quads, a little bit in through here. Feet, heels are happy, right? Now we're grounding ourselves. We're feeling the grounding into our heels. Now we're going to pull. Now, you may have heard me say this before, if I've ever had a squat conversation with you. We're going to tear paper. You know how you rip paper with your hands? You go like this. We're going to do it with our feet, okay? So as we come down and we're in our squat, our feet, we're going to do this, except we're not going to do that. We're going to take and we're going to ground our feet, and through our toes, I know, this sounds weird, we're going to do this. So we're going to activate our muscles all the way through our toes, pulling. We're going to feel it come up through our calves, and we're going to use this to lift and push ourselves all the way up, activating our muscles all the way up through the butt, bringing us up to the top of our squat. So again, I know this sounds weird. Trust me. This is tearing paper. So go down into your squat, sinking into your heels. Now tear paper. Try and do this with your feet, but don't move your feet. Ground your feet and make this with your feet. So see, my feet kind of want to move, but they're not going to. So you're using your energy to push yourself up with this to your feet. And you're squeezing all the way up through the muscles, up through the hamstrings, into the glutes. Bringing yourself to the top, and you can feel it come all the way up through your back. The energy shoots right out. Not kidding. Just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. That's a squat. That is a real, true squat. Now, a lot of people never quite get the full, and it takes a while. You know, you'll see a lot of people go, okay. And they're getting it. They're getting the motion. They're working on the energy and the musculature. But when you get to that point where you come down and you really can grasp that you're pulling the muscle, you're engaging those muscles, and your feet are really trying to pull. And if you look at my feet, you can see the musculature just go, I'm pulling up, and everything just engages all the way up through, and you're making everything go. And when you get that and everything engages, your lifts gets heavier, your muscles get stronger, and the next thing you know, you are just on cloud frickin' nine. And you're running around going, it's leg day, it's leg day. Okay, maybe you don't want to do that, but it's kind of awesome. So you can use that with all of your squats. So that's your front squat. You can do your heel raised goblet squat or just a regular goblet squat. So goblet is when you take your feet out to, it's about a 45-degree angle, so it's not 90, it's about 45. Heel raised is when you can put a plate underneath your heels and you plop it down and you're like a piston and you push up through it. So like a piston, and you're still doing that same, the same movement with your feet where you're pushing up and you're engaging. So it's up and you're still engaging through everything all the way up through. Sumo. Take it out nice and wide. Shoulders back and down. You drop all the way down. As you push up, I only come up at about 80% because I like to keep everything still engaged at the top. I don't come all the way to the top and rack my knees. I keep it here to about 80 and then drop it back down. But it's still the same thing. I'm engaging from my feet, coming all the way up and then back down. All the way to about 80 and back down. And then the all important, everybody has a different kind of deadlift. You'll see the power lifters and the really heavy lifters doing the big deadlifts with the bar and the weight belt, and my goodness, they're freaking amazing. I do not start people there. That is my personal preference. I don't like doing people with online coaching with heavy deadlifts. I want to be there working with people that are doing that level. So if I'm doing online coaching, I'm not going to have you doing the super heavy bar deadlifts. No, that is for in-person only, 100%. For online coaching, I am comfortable starting with lighter weight RDLs or Romanian deadlifts, but you have to start at very lightweight. And I prefer to work with you first to see you do your first RDL at that lightweight before having you proceed. This is my personal preference as a trainer. If you are comfortable with starting with them and you are in a place where I cannot meet with you initially to do them, and you are comfortable with doing them, then we can do an online viewing of them. I do travel to go to meet people to do them in person because I would rather see them in person just to make sure that nobody hurts themselves. Because a deadlift is a deadlift, and I want to make sure that form is proper. But I am going to show here because I want to make sure that form is proper. So anyways, we're again going to work in that engagement all the way down through the feet. Now, I do RDLs, so we're focusing on hamstring glute, okay? With RDLs, the most important things to remember, you're engaging in the feet, the back must stay flat, the knees bend, okay? The knees do not stay straight, the knees bend. So, and the weights stay flat and close to the legs. So, shoulders back and down, flat back, pelvis is slightly tucked so that back stays nice and flat. You're going to hinge. As you hinge, these knees bend. So the back is flat, knees bend. You're looking, you do not turn your head to the side under any circumstance. Back stays flat. See how close these bells stay? You only go down as far as you can to keep that flat back. As you come back up, you do that same technique with the squat. You engage through the feet. All the way back up. So you can see the engagement in the glute. You can see the engagement all the way through the hamstring. So again, flat back, perfect hinge, bend at the knee, flat back, only as far as you can go, keeping that flat back. Engage through the feet, all the way up. The back stays flat, shoulders stay back and down. Now, if you get this far and you start doing this, no, stop, stop, stop. If you automatically start doing this, immediately stop. If you come into it and you start going here, stop. No, it's not for you. You're not there yet, or you're using too heavy weights. We'll start you with a good morning. We won't do RDLs yet. We'll start here. Good morning. It's just a simple hinge. Good morning, start right here. And then after that, from there, then you add a bar. And after you add a bar, then you can add weight to the bar. And then we'll move you up to RDLs. And then we can progress you further. And then you can move to in-person if you want to start doing the heavier ones. But we don't do the heavy ones online. Okay. Split squats. Important one for you to see because I do split squats. You can, sometimes we'll start on a lower bench, but I'm gonna show you the trick on this. So with split squats, sit on your bench, but at the edge right here, take one foot, stick it out where your heel's at. Stand up, take your other foot, put it right back on the bench. Hopefully you can see that. When you do your split squats, the important thing is that you're sitting back into your butt, okay? Your knee is going to stay above the ankle. You are not going forward. You are going back because you're working your glutes, okay? We're not trying to come here and work our quads. We're coming here. So this is your split squat right here. See where my knee stays? Everybody, when you first start doing split squats, and I do say everybody because every single person that I have ever seen, ever since I started doing training, when they first do their split squats, their knee comes out here and they're here. I've never seen anybody go directly into doing their very first split squat and do it correctly. It's okay. So I'm gonna tell you now, pull it back, you're sinking back, and you're coming back here into that glute. I already did my split squats today. Much heavier than this. My butt's sore. I know, TMI. And then I'm gonna show you a glute thrust and we're gonna call it a day. Or an evening, or whatever you may choose to call it. When I give you glute thrust, sometimes I'll give you bridges, but if I give you glute thrusts, we're gonna come up on our bench. We're gonna come down here, we're gonna bring our feet nice and close. We're gonna come here. Make sense? Bridges are going to be down here on the floor. Here. Sometimes there will be like marching bridges, butterfly bridges. There's all sorts of fun bridges, but if I give you glute thrusts, you're using the bench. There's all sorts of more wonderful things that you're gonna get with lower body day, but the most important thing to remember is engage from the feet through the head. Always have the proper posture. Make sure as you come up, you're working all the way through those heels, bringing yourself all the way up, engaging all the way through that kinetic chain. You're gonna see massive amounts of results when you're actually engaging those muscles instead of just doing a perfunctory squat. Because a lot of people just squat. They're just, okay, I'm squatting, I'm squatting, I'm squatting, but they're not squatting. I want you to squat. You can just squat, but I want you to squat, okay? So when I say, but did you squat? I know. Apparently, they never told me you hit a certain age and you just get a little funny. Who knew? I hope you have a wonderful day. There's only one other video and it's just basically going through a lovely slew of ab core exercises. Fairly simple